Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? I have Mr. Bowie here with me. He's looking just so precious. However, it is getting freezing cold outside. I think that tonight it's supposed to get to like -5 or something crazy like that. So I wanted to change him into something a little bit warmer. I have this really cute cashmere onesie by Piper and Posy. It's one of my absolute favorite things that I found at a consignment shop. It is just so soft and makes the babies really cozy. And then I also recently made these little booties. They are a little lopsided just because they are my very first crocheted clothing item. I've done a lot of like animals and amigurumi, but I hadn't really done anything that I needed to make to a specific size. So that was kind of a challenge for me, but I'm pretty proud of them. And I enjoyed making them so much that I'm actually now working on a sweater as well. Definitely still working on my gauge, so I feel like everything I make just ends up being way too small, and then I have to go back and adjust. But it happens. I will learn as I go for sure. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about the topic of, keeping things fun and exciting in a small collection. I feel like I've had a small collection for a long time, and one of the biggest reasons that I kind of miss my bigger collection is there was always something fun and exciting and new happening, and so I've had to kind of learn to adjust the way that I collect and do things a little bit differently or continue with some things that I was doing in the past in order to still make having a smaller collection just as fun. If you guys have seen a couple of I can't talk today. If you guys have seen a couple of my other videos, I kind of talked about choosing to downsize my collection because I am working full-time now, which is a big difference for me. And I also am going to be moving into a smaller space here soon. So I've just been kind of wanting a smaller collection to kind of focus on just a few babies and really, look to enjoy just them without feeling overwhelmed with the size of my collection. So one of the biggest and most important things I think really helps is getting dolls by different artists. It's super exciting to get a new doll and be able to experience something completely different that you've never experienced before. I mean, everyone has their favorite artists. I'm not gonna lie, I've definitely considered buying from the same artist twice just because they are excellent, and their work is excellent. But I just feel like it's not quite as fun and exciting because it's something that you've already seen before. In a way, I mean, of course, people's style of painting changes, but it's still kind of, people have a certain way of doing one thing or another thing, such as the mottling or the blushing or the types of colors and tones that they use. And so I've really enjoyed, looking at each different artist's work and enjoying every single little piece that they put into it, because each artist kind of focuses on different things, and they're just all so beautiful and amazing in their own little ways. And so that has kind of been my rule of thumb, is to make it interesting, kind of having a variety of artists, but also a variety of sculptors. This rule I haven't always followed, but I typically try to get dolls by different sculptors each time too, because kind of same concept. Each sculptor is going to sculpt their fingers a little differently or their ears, and kind of have a different sort of concept or idea even on a very similar pose or size of baby. And so I think it's just really cool to see that. My only exception that I've had is I have had 2 babies by Laura Lee Eagles, because she is most definitely one of my favorite sculptors. I had Lincoln by Laura Lee Eagles a while ago, and then now I have Evie as well. So, you know, and it's kind of cool because Lincoln definitely is a much older sculpt than Evie is. So it is kind of cool to kind of see how the sculptor has evolved over time. But I will admit that the hands are sculpted super similarly, like with the exact same attention to detail on the wrinkles and the really cute, like long skinny fingers. I just adore. Laura Lee Eagles does an excellent job with that. And so I found it hard to resist. But anyway, I'll go back to my other points. So yeah, different artists, different sculptors, always fun to check out and kind of spice things up in your nursery. Another thing that I like to do is buy and sell a little bit more frequently than maybe I used to. Not in the sense of just, you know, I used to buy more dolls per year. However, I had a bigger collection. I had 3, 4, at one point in time I even had 5 dolls. And so I would keep certain dolls in my collection for significantly longer than I do now. Now I probably only keep a doll in my collection for about 2 years because after, you know, 1 year I want to get a new doll. So it's kind of like this constant rotation. And there are definitely dolls that have sold that I probably wouldn't have ended up selling, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, I wanted something new and something different and exciting in my collection. And I kind of have to think of it in the way of, you know, I love this doll and I have a bond with this doll. However, you know, there's just a point in time where it's time for something new and it's time for something different. And so you can kind of say, I've gotten to enjoy this doll. Now it's time to sort of pass it on to another collector and let another collector enjoy as well. And as you could tell, I finally got these booties to actually fit his feet pretty darn well. They fit Winona's feet extremely well too. I wish, like for Winona, they were a little bit bigger because her toes are curled up. So it almost like kind of gives the illusion that they're too small for her because her toes are like curled in, if that makes sense. But at least they fit both the babies. And yeah, not too bad. Definitely some things that I would change and that I learned along the way. But, and this is a really cool pattern. I'll have to link it down below. It's a free pattern by Ruth and Maisie or Maisie and Ruth. I'm not sure which one comes first, but I'll put it down below for any of you crocheters that are interested. And then back to kind of what I was saying. I feel like I'm all over the place today, but anyway, another thing that I like to do is get a few more accessories and clothing items for my dolls, kind of in between those like longer periods where I'm not getting a new baby and I have the same, you know, 2 dolls in my collection, is even if something's a little bit more pricey and I wouldn't, you know, necessarily pay like $30, $40 for an outfit for a doll, but, you know, if it's something that this is the only item that I have bought for my dolls within the past month, you know, then it seems kind of worth it, and you can get more fun and unique items and things that you really enjoy and that you're really excited to put on your doll. So I've kind of been doing that a little bit more often, and like little other bits and pieces, like I bought myself a new wrap a little while ago. I made myself this little cushion piece. So just little accessories like that to kind of build to your nursery or your doll's wardrobe, to make it more fun and exciting too, because, you know, every once in a while you look through your clothing collection, you're like, I have put every single piece of clothing on this doll and I'm getting just kind of bored of seeing them in the same things. So that's always fun, I think. And this last one will work for some people and not for others. It has worked for me fairly well, but kind of living vicariously through other people on social media, people who are constantly getting new dolls every month. It's kind of fun to watch their channels and see all the new babies they have. I really like watching dolly videos while holding my dolls. And some people say that like that makes them want to buy another doll even more, but for me it kind of sort of itches that scratch to constantly want to buy new, as I get to sort of experience other people's dolls through them. And you know, every once in a while like a doll or sculpt gets me so excited that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need this doll at some point in time, and I can start planning for that, and that's an exciting process too. But I think just, you know, watching the trends that are going on and the new different painting techniques and sculpting techniques, it's really fun to watch and kind of get you excited about your own dolls that you have and excited for dolls to come. But yeah, anyway, that is all I have for my 5 different ways to make your smaller collection fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear down below how many dolls you guys have in your collection, whether you kind of prefer a smaller collection or a bigger collection, and why. But yeah, you guys stay warm and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.